Hello, children. Are you ready for some cutting up and kikiing? Are you ready for a gay old time? Well, I hope you are, because now it's time for Hey Queen with your host, Johnny McGovern.
Hey Queen, come on and spill the tea. Hey Queen, it's just a good old-fashioned kiki. Hey Queen, we're cutting up with Johnny. Hey, 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 hey Queen.
Hello, my LGBTQ plus peeps, and welcome to another Thunder and Lightning episode of Hey Queen, with me, your host, Johnny McGovern. Today's show is all about one of the rising stars of drag. We have a queen with us who's been at the balls with the legendary children and stamps themselves with the legendary children, and we consider her one of the top upcoming children. Legendary. I'm super excited to have Rhea Littré on the couch today. Yeah! Ooh, yes, honey. But before she burns it up on out here, there's another queen that's been doing it and 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 doing it for a long ass time. She's like a warm, welcoming hug from your mother. Really? If she were a Saturday morning kids show, she'd be Draggle Rock. And like an old-timey radio, if you adjust her antenna just right and fiddle with her knobs, you'll get the perfect frequency. It's Miss Lady Red Couture. Hey, Queen.
Tens across the board.
That's right, darling.
Yes.
We were talking about fiddling with your knobs, but sweetie, I think your knobs have already been fiddled
It's a little
with.
cold in here, a little cold.
You are presenting
But you know, that's
full,
what you have to do, honey.
erect
Yes.
nipples today.
Why not? Go ahead and let them speak for you.
Do you have ice cubes backstage that you just like getting ready for the show, getting good?
Baby, I had a bowl of ice cream. I was, I like to put it right here.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you put it right here, the little tingling sensation goes all the way to, just the nipple.
Oh, okay.
So then you have a lovely bowl of ice cream and hard nipples. It's wonderful.
Do you even need to use a bowl? You just put 2 scoops right in your cleavage and eat them.
If I had a barrier where it didn't go in there, yeah, but I think that's illegal in some states.
Oh, it definitely is. And the police are here to get you right now. There she is, that ice cream titty eater.
No!
Well, speaking of drama and fights and tea, we have a delightful lady on the show today who calls herself drag's baddest bitch.
Oh.
Miss Rhea Littré is here today, honey. Oh, yes. And we'll be right back with her after this very gay break. Honey, this queen is drag's baddest bitch, and she wants to make you her lover boy. It's Rhea Littré!
Drag's baddest bitches in the house!
Hey, queen.
Hey, baby.
We finally got you here.
I am stoked. This show is so legendary. I mean, just seeing every boner is a blessing,
Right.
and the flesh is gaggery in its own.
And speaking of gaggery, honey, there's a look today.
Oh, honey, I took a look at the set and I was like, what's gonna pop?
Yes.
Black and white, splash of color, let's do it.
And I love your streetwalker white boots.
Oh, the only way they can find you at night.
Yes.
That's a RuPaul trick, actually.
Is it?
Yes, RuPaul said that on RuPaul's Drag Race. She goes, those white pumps, that's how you get the Johns, baby.
I love it. Lady Red, look, Rhea Littré is here, looking sweet and fine.
Girl, she looked like something straight out of Pretty Woman.
Oh, that's so nice not to get any shade. Well, I love Lady Red because she came to my party a couple weeks ago.
Oh, right.
At the Abbey, and it was so fun. And Lady Red doesn't just go out to kiki all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt very honored and blessed to have her at the table.
harder for me because I'm a
Thank you for coming, Miss Lady Red.
Shut up, I'm coming back.
Oh,
I had
you
a
had
good
better.
time. It's harder for me because I'm an older girl, so sometimes they be like thinking I'm security if I'm standing by myself. They be like, can you guide me to the restroom? I'm like, no, I don't work here. No.
Well, that's a good way to get a free drink.
Speaking of free drinks, the one thing that you did do for Lady Red when she got there that night was got her drunk. 'Cause I saw her
yes.
later that night.
Honey, we have that bottle popping every week. All my friends are more than welcome to come.
Love
The
it.
more the merrier there at the Abbey.
I mean, you're at the world's #1 gay bar, one of the biggest shows.
Yes, we have won it so many years, and I've been working at the Abbey for 15 years.
Wow.
I started working at the Abbey when I was 18 years old, doing PR for the Abbey and David Cooley and Jeffrey Sanker and all like the nightlife heavy hitters.
Right.
And that's how I got into nightlife. And I started drag because I was like, ooh, I'm hosting these parties. Like, I've always been a theme party girl. So I'm like, there's a theme party, let's put on a wig, let's do the gig.
Yeah.
And then people were like, oh, bitch, did you see Josh in drag? Like, oh my God, that's so cool. Because at that point, there really wasn't a lot of drag hosts at the gay parties in West Hollywood. They had Dream Girls at Rage.
Right.
They had Jackie Beats at Mickey's. But there wasn't a lot of like, you know, party girls.
Yeah.
And I'd like to say that, bitch, I fucking stomped my way through every party in this town, honey, and they couldn't wait to give me a booking.
Yes. I mean, your pedigree is quite stunning because Raja and Mayhem are your drag mothers?
Yes, that story is crazy.
Well, tell me.
Well, so I knew I wanted to do drag after seeing Raven perform at Peanuts.
Okay.
And she did the Sarah McLachlan number. It was so gorgeous. She had all these flowers all over her bodice and her thing, and it was, of course, a ballad. And it touched me in a way that I had never felt before. I knew at that point that drag was going to be a part of my life, but I would need to see how a bitch was going to look first.
Right.
And you're not going to go up to Raven, just so intimidating. But at that time, 2004, 2005, the best drag was in the IE. And there was a club called Oasis in Upland.
Oh.
And I went there seeking for a drag mother. And I saw, you know, Boog, Morgan. And then I saw Mayhem get on stage. And she did this Little Kim, How Many Licks. They had like this fountain in the corner with like this gross water that had probably been there forever. And she jumped in there and she was like half naked. She was throwing the water around and I was like, that bitch, I need her to teach me how to do drag.
Wow.
And I went up to her and I'm like, Miss Mayhem, you are so amazing. My name is Josh. I'm just like, I would love to try drag. And she goes, hell no.
Oh.
Hell no, you're gonna ruin your life. You're a trade, you're gonna ruin your life and nobody's gonna wanna fuck you. And I was like, but like, I really wanna try this. So I went back consistent, 3 weeks. She finally gave me a checklist. She was like, hey bitch, you need lashes, because I'm not getting pink eye. You need your own foundation color because we don't have the same foundation color. And I was like, boom. So I got it, went to Payless, got my size 11.
Good old Payless.
Yes, honey, it saved my life. And I get to Mayhem, she puts me in the drags, and you couldn't tell me I wasn't beautiful. And she gives me a CD book. What number are you doing tonight?
Wow.
I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, well, this is the way it works. If you win the competition tonight, it's an amateur competition, you can be my drag daughter.
Wow.
And so I'm like, okay, bitch. Jennifer Lopez, get right, here we go. Boom. Go to Oasis, get to the stage, and who is the host of the show? Raja.
Wow.
Oh, I was gagged. I had remember seeing her at Oz a long time ago, and you know, the statuesque beauty of Raja is just, for a little baby drag queen, it's a lot.
Oh, yeah.
She looked at me, what's your name? You're a supermodel, what are you wearing on your feet? And I'm like, well, I've got these like Payless shoes on, girl. She's like, well, you can't get on those stage with those. What size are you? 13. She took off her shoes, gave them to me to wear. I won the competition, and now I have 2 drag mothers.
Wow. Yes. Legendary
And I'm gonna talk for myself for that one too, bitch, because I got some bad bitches.
that is no joke.
Yeah, lucky. I mean, they really didn't do much for me. Because, you know.
They were busy?
I'm a boss ass bitch. I like to do what I gotta do.
Right.
But they've always been there along the way for advice and just camaraderie and friendship and for people to talk to. It's, you know, my family's pretty dope.
That is quite a pedigree, sweetie.
Yep.
And great to be able to like look at their success and know that you can make that same path.
Yeah, well, the thing is, another thing about them is that a lot of people don't know is that I ruined both of them.
Did you?
Oh, yes, bitch. This was back in the day. RuPaul's Drag Race had not hit huge superstardom with season 3. And Raja got on the show. I knew she had won the show. And I was a publicist. So I was like, Ma, you need to get a MySpace. You need to get a Facebook. You need all these things, because back then it wasn't like that.
Right.
And she was like, okay, make it for me, blah, 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 whatever. So I make it, and I'm like, I have to call her. I'm like, okay, Ma, so what's your last name? Because you have to have a last name for Facebook.
Yeah.
She's like, well, I don't have a last name. I don't have a last name. I'm not gonna have a last name. And she's like, I don't want this then. I made it anyway. And I made it the same as her email, which was Raja Gemini.
Right.
And so now all over the world, people think that Raja's name is Raja Gemini, but I just made that up.
Now that is tea right there, sweetie.
Like, girl,
oh.
Sip that because there's more coming.
Keep it coming, sweetie.
I ruined Mayhem Miller's life too.
Okay, please let me
So-
know what happened with there.
Mayhem, same thing. Did not have social media. I was the publicist. I've always been the biggest drag supporter, so I'm always trying to help in every little way I can with any of my knowledge. So I'm like, you need a last name. She goes, I want my last name to be Bizzle. I was like, no, bitch, your last name is not gonna be Bizzle. How about let's do it this? We're gonna put it to my government name because she didn't want it to be her government name. So, and my full name was Joshua Miller.
Right.
So I gave her Miller as my last name until she figured out what she wanted it to be.
Right.
Now she is still all over the world internationally known as Mayhem Miller.
The family resemblance is
Ow.
strong. You've been everywhere. You've promoted parties. You worked as a publicist, and then you've been hosting drag clubs. You've
If
been
you got a
pushing
paycheck,
it.
I got a talent, Johnny.
Yeah. you've been in all your sisters' music videos. You've had your own music videos.
I am the biggest drag supporter, and I'm, you know, before I'm a drag queen, I'm a drag fan. I was always in the front row cheering the girls, giving dollars, picking up the tips, taking them upstairs, hoping that they would tip me back. That would never happen. But you know, I just love drag, and I've always just been such a fan of it. From the beginning, I didn't even know that I was going to end up being a queen. I just knew that it touched me immensely, and
Yeah.
I'm, you know, now, bitch, a full-fledged queen of, you know, almost over a decade.
For sure.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of our audience knows you from turning it on the runway at Marco Marco,
Ooh,
sweetie.
mi hermano Marco.
Now, now you were probably there from the very beginning.
Fun fact, I've been there from the beginning of Marco. Underwear. Because before we did the runway shows, he didn't even have an underwear line.
Right.
He was like, okay, well, now we're gonna make underwear. And a fun fact, which is what I meant to say, is that Marco didn't really start making underwear until he started making them for the Abbey. And that's how he got into like the underwear business.
Wow.
You know, he's like, oh, bitch, like, these underwear are cute. The boys looking fine.
Yeah.
I want these fine boys.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have them come into my studio, try on some underwear, and get up in these draws.
Right. Those underwear fittings must be legendary.
Oh, honey, they are packed.
Because that show was, you know, it's always been something, but it's become such a spectacle and such an event.
Well, what it's become is something so amazing for our community because we're getting to expose everyone to LGBTQIJKLMNOP.
Exactly.
You know, he just did the first all-trans runway show in New York Fashion Week last year on that level. And it was amazing because he got to bring so many people together. You know, so many of these people only see each other online, only support each other on the internet. And so this was the first time a lot of them had even seen each other.
Wow.
And so it was like, they're like, you know, working out and like hanging out and like commenting on pictures. Hey, let's take a selfie together. It was like, it's really an event that brings our community together from all aspects of life within nightlife. Really, is what it is.
Yeah. And Miss Lady Red had her song played on that runway. I think it was last year, right? The
Oh
Ranch.
yes. Was she the Hector Fonseca remix?
Yeah.
That good audio foreplay, baby.
Yes, it was gorgeous. Now, even though you are not on Drag Race, you've managed to keep a very high profile. Even Cosmo reached out to you to do your own Cosmo Queens.
Well, bitch, you can't keep a good bitch down.
That's right.
Honey, and I use everything, all my knowledge in PR to my advantage. You know, I was sick of making other people's stars because I was so young. I wanted to give myself a chance. You know, I feel like I've always done that in my drag career. I've always, you know, kept myself down a little bit by pulling everybody up, and I kind of forget about myself because I'm such a mother caretaker.
Yeah.
And that might be one of my biggest faults in drag. And you know, there was a time where I was like, bitch, it's my time to shine. Let me work for myself. Let me see, like, Rhea Latrey's a bad bitch. Let's see what we could do if I can give her 100p, because right now I'm only giving her 20. And I'm so happy with everything that I've been able to accomplish. And you know, it's all been through the help of my friends. This is not a solo gig, you know, this is, Rhea Latrey is a family affair. And I'm super grateful and booked and blessed.
Hey Queens, thanks for watching. For part 2 of this interview, click here. For more Hey Queen fabulousness, click here. And of course, don't forget to subscribe.